Have you ever wondered what Rear Window would look like if it was horny and boring? The Voyeurs. So, The Voyeurs is a new movie written and directed by Michael Mohan, and it stars Sydney Sweeney, Justice Smith, Ben Hardy, and Natasha Liu, Bordizzo. So, this movie, all right, this young, boring couple, played by Sydney Sweeney and Justice Smith, move into this apartment, and their apartment overlooks another apartment. And right from the start, they're obsessed with watching that apartment. I'm just thinking, like, all right, buy some curtains and a fucking TV. Obviously, you need something where you're watching real people, so maybe some trashy reality TV will be the cure of your problems. But no, they get obsessed watching this couple. They buy binoculars, and then like the boyfriend gets sick of watching them, but the woman Sydney Sweeney keeps watching them. Her obsession grows and becomes friends with them, and things move from there. Now, my problem with this movie is they spend most of it in the apartment looking into the other apartment. That's fine, but nothing really interesting happens in that apartment unless you like seeing a gigantic freaking douchebag bed ladies all the time. This dude is awful. Now, he's well acted. I think it's Ben Hardy. He played Roger Taylor in Bohemian Rhapsody. So it's good to see him come back it's good to see him again in something. He's really good in this too, playing a role, even though I fucking could not stand his character. In fact, I couldn't stand all of the characters. I don't like anyone in this movie. Don't like them. But this guy, played by Ben Hardy, he's just a gigantic piece of shit. The way he talks to women is atrocious. And yet, every single woman he comes into contact with in this movie bangs him. What? Okay. So I'm not going into any spoiler territory here until after I've done this part. Then I'll get into some of the weird, crazy shit. So for 90 minutes, this is a 2-hour movie, so it's already over half an hour too long, but for like 90 minutes, I feel like nothing really happens. They're just watching all the time. And then in the last 30 minutes, all these twists happen, and I'm like, what? For reals? For reals. That's stupid and impossible and doesn't really make sense. So, yeah. I don't like any of the characters. Any of them. At all. The only character I could really kind of empathize with is played by Justice Smith, and I don't know if it's his accent or something like that, I found him hard to understand. His voice, I don't know, like if you put a Bane mask on him, that's how he sounds. Like, you can't really understand him all the time. But he's like the only nice person in this whole movie. Everyone else is just a piece of garbage, and not in a weird, compelling sort of way. It's dumb Rear Window, done dumbly, and it's dumb. 2 out of 10. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tear this up. And after I've thrown it in the air, I'm going to spoil shit out of this movie. Because it's fucking dumb, man. Oh yeah, give me a like, dislike, share, and subscribe. In case you don't... Yeah. This shit is insane. Dude. Alright, so spoiler territory here. They start watching The Neighbours. They find out the guy's a cheater. But, you know, they're adults. They can't really do anything about it. But at Halloween time, they decide, let's gatecrash their Halloween party and put something in their house so we can not just watch them, but we can hear what they're saying too. And I'm just like, okay, fine. And then Sydney Sweeney's boyfriend just kind of stops watching, like full stop, like he's had enough. But she just keeps watching them and watching them. And she sends the woman who's being cheated on a message. How? Via their printer from her computer. I don't know, Bluetooth connections or something. I don't know. Saying, he's cheating on you, check the basket for condoms. And then, like, you think she's killed herself because she's been cheated on and all this kind of stuff. And then, a couple nights later, she's still watching, even though her boyfriend's left her because he was there at the moment, like, this chick supposedly killed herself. And so he leaves, he dumps her. And Sydney Sweeney uses her binoculars to watch Roger Taylor go to the fucking bar across the street. So she goes to the bar too. Then they wind up at his place. And he's a total dick douchebag still. And they still bang. And of course, the boyfriend comes back with flowers and sees them. And you're led to believe that he hangs himself. I'm like, okay. And then it turns out she's invited to a photo exhibition that he's hosting. And all it was a photo exhibition of how they've been watched, but they watched them too. And then you see all the photos from their perspective of the thing. Even her reaction to her boyfriend being hung. She finds out that he didn't kill himself, it was poison. This is all in the last half hour, man. This is all crammed in. And she goes to confront the fucking guy from across the way and his wife, who isn't dead. She was just pretending. And said, I know you poisoned my husband, not really hung him. And I'm just thinking, like, while he was dying, you were banging Ben Hardy. And I don't think Ben Hardy's wife, Natasha Bordizzo, has the strength to I mean, his boyfriend's a skinny dude. I don't think she has the strength to make this look like a hanging. That didn't make any sense to me. And then Sydney Sweeney sends them a bottle of wine, which they drink some of. It's been poisoned, of course. But before they succumb to the poison or unconsciousness, they go to confront Sydney Sweeney in an alley or something. Then they pass out. And then somehow she manages to drag both of them to her place of work, which is, she's an ophthalmologist. She does laser eyes and shit. And she manages to get them both into this place unseen, strap them to the machine, use the machine, totally fucking blind them, and take them back to their house somehow? What? And the movie ends with a new couple moving into the house Sydney Sweeney was in and going, oh, look, we can see into their house. Yeah, we don't need to do that. Curtains. And then the movie ends. And you see that these two people are blind now. Everyone's horrible in this movie. No one really learns a lesson. Everyone kind of deserves what they get, except for Sydney Sweeney's boyfriend, who, boy, he wasn't perfect, but tried to do the right thing. No one else did. This movie's awful. I hated it. It's boring. There's lots of nudity in it too. And you think that'd be enough to kind of carry my brain, like puerile middle-aged guys. It's like, oh, there's nudity in this. Cool, that's going to keep me going. And it doesn't. It's not erotic. And it's not thrilling. It's bad. Yeah. So Netflix aren't the only people releasing shitty movies straight to stream. Amazon Prime, baby. This is an Amazon Prime movie. And it's awful. Does no one good want to make movies for these streaming services? Because most of these movies for the streaming services suck. This is Tomorrow War bad. Or maybe even worse than that. I don't know. You know, just share and subscribe. What did you think? Did you share my pain? Oh, there's a lot of pain to be had. I don't want to talk about this movie anymore. In fact, we're done.